All right, so sales and marketing, and developing a marketing plan. So in a hotel, we typically have two different, we have a sales and marketing department, and they work together. So we'll talk about the relationship between sales and marketing as we talk about developing this marketing plan. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is the 4 P's of marketing. Why it's important for us to have a marketing plan and different aspects of it, and then kind of how we go through identifying what our target market is. So sales and marketing. How many of you have ever heard of the sales department in a hotel? Okay, what does sales do? They sell. Okay, they do what? They book rooms and book groups. Good. Okay. So sales is kind of short term. Granted, they probably have like a long term of what they're going after meetings or after groups in the long term, but they're very short term. They're selling. The marketing plan is more long term. So the marketing plan happens first, determines what groups we go after. It determines what time of the year we need to focus on selling more. And the salespeople actually go out and do it. They actually go out and get the business. Okay. So marketing is looking at what our potential profit could be, what our volume of business could be, and then the sales, they're the ones who actually take that, and that's how they get their sales quota. My quota is to get this X number of room nights, or my sales quota is to sell this amount in this dollar amount in revenue.
Sell 10 tractors.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and so marketing versus sales, marketing is kind of like the theoretical side of it, the planning, and then the sales is the actual doing it. Yes, sir.
Is some of the like hot hotels or the programs that you can do online and order your rooms, are they the same as
so when we're
sales part of hotels?
Not so much. So when we're talking about sales, we're looking at primarily the groups. Okay, so not individual leisure travelers. We're looking more at the group business. So booking a conference or booking a meeting that uses 10 room nights or so many different room nights. Most hotels, if you're looking at 10 room nights or more, it's going to go to the sales office versus just calling the hotel and making a reservation. The sales office is going to take care of that because at that point you're considered a group. Okay, and groups don't always have to have meetings and events with them. So you could be a bridal party or a wedding party, and your venue is at a ranch, but the ranch doesn't have lodging, and so you're bringing your whole wedding party and your whole group, and you can call the group sales office and say, I have 20 people coming in my wedding party, and we need 3 nights. That's 60 room nights. Okay, or if people are pairing up, then maybe you don't need 60 room nights, but you need a block of rooms. Okay. So the 4 P's of marketing: product, place, promotion, and price. How many of you have heard this before? Okay, where did you hear it before? Good. I'll tell Mr. Luna you were paying attention.
Yes.
Okay, in marketing and sales, in the marketing class. So the same thing. So in that case, you were talking about marketing and the 4 P's of marketing just in general. In this case, now we're applying it to our hotel rooms, or we're applying it to our hotels. So in addition to our rooms, what products do our hotels offer?
Services.
Okay, so we might have an on-site coordinator that's going to help you with your meeting. That's part of the product. What else? Besides rooms, what else do people do at the hotels? They eat. Okay, so our food and beverage. Now, on the sales side, our food and beverage can not only be in the restaurant, but it's also where? The bar. It could be room service. It could be. So the restaurants, bar, room service. That's more of like the food and beverage outlets, but we also look at another area of the food and beverage when we're talking about the sales office. In our meetings, in our banquets, good. Okay, so all of that is part of our product, of what we are selling, okay? The place is where are we selling it? Of course, this case is the hotel. Okay. Now, sometimes you have a unique opportunity. So, for example, the JW Marriott has a ranch. They partner with Kanibi Ranch. Whether they own it or not, I'm not sure. But they work with Kanibi Ranch so that if a group decides that they want to go out and have an off-site event away from the JW Marriott, then that group can take whatever they spend at Kanibi Ranch, they can add that to or apply it to their food and beverage minimum. Okay, so oftentimes when we're selling a group, we'll say, absolutely, we can give you that rate. However, we need you to spend $26,000 food and beverage plus. Okay, and so the groups can actually take whatever money they spend at Kanibi Ranch. It's an offsite event, but it applies to their food and beverage minimum back at the hotel. And so that's the place is kind of what you are selling. The promotion is how you get it out there. How are you promoting it? And then of course the price is the dollar amount, but it also associates with value. Okay, so the price might be higher, but you might have a luxury setting. The price might be a little bit higher than, for Hotel A than it is Hotel B, but Hotel B, you just walk in and you don't really have the level of service. So the value is not there. So price is not always just dollar amount. We also want to associate the value of what we're getting, basically what you get for. Or when people say the bang for your buck, the more bang for your buck, okay, is that price. So the benefits of having a marketing plan, first of all, is it's a plan, which means you've actually taken time to stop, think about what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, before you just kind of say, oh yeah, let's go do this. Oh, it'd be nice if we could get more wedding business. It could be nice if we got more corporate business. Well, yeah, it could be nice, but how are we going to do it? And that's where the marketing plan comes into play, okay? And so it makes us think ahead. Yeah, it would be great if we got more wedding business. Well, how do we get more wedding business? What's something you can do you think you can maybe get more wedding business?
Going out and like getting in touch with like bridal shops and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, so maybe working with bridal shops as people are coming to shop for their wedding dresses. You might be able to partner with them. Yes,
coordinate with wedding planners.
Good. So make sure so we had this one event that when I was an event planner, the Embassy Suites down on the Riverwalk, they hosted a meeting planner day. And so they took us on tours of the hotel rooms so we could see what the rooms looked like. They took us on tours of the meeting space, and then we ate lunch in the ballroom, in the banquet space. And so we could sample the menus. So they hosted those events so that the next time a group comes in and it's like, oh, we need this particular type of hotel. Oh, wait, I was just at the Embassy Suites. So yeah, so work with wedding planners, bring them in. We do shows all the time. We do in-house open houses where we kind of showcase what we can do. Same thing with wedding planners. If we go to something like the Bridal Extravaganza or San Antonio Wedding Magazine to their bridal shows, and then we invite people to come to our hotel. Hey, we're having this open house. Come to our hotel. Well, if I don't go to that Bridal Extravaganza and that wedding show, I don't have access to that email list of all those people who signed up to attend that event. And so by doing those things, we have a plan of, we think ahead, what can we do, and then we execute that plan, okay? It coordinates all those sales efforts. I don't want, if my plan is not to get more wedding business, if I have more brides than I know what to do with, then maybe I don't need to go to the wedding show this year. Maybe I can go do something else, or maybe I can put my efforts somewhere else and build in a different part, a different market, okay? And so this is what that whole part of that plan is. You think ahead, and then it makes the efforts that our salespeople are actually doing, it makes it a little bit more meaningful. They're not just out spinning their wheels trying to attract business, but they don't really know what they're supposed to be doing, okay? So that kind of goes along the line of using our resources.
I do have one question.
Yeah.
In reference to a event space,
Mhm.
if they were able to kind of branch out and provide something different to their guests, is that the same as having a good marketing plan?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, let's say it's a wedding venue and they have space outside, but to keep the people busy, they have a small like s'mores or cookout area, and then they got one space for games, and then they got another space for dancing.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, like, is that in reference to their marketing plan?
Absolutely, it definitely is. We'll get to why that is in just a moment. That's a great thing. So hold on to that thought. Kind of going along what I said, we don't want to have those fruitless sales calls. Okay, our salespeople's time is important. Their job is to go out there and get rooms, is to generate business for the hotels. We want to make sure they're being the most effective as possible. Okay, this is where we go. Opportunities and problems faced by the facility. So we don't have a space for people to go out and roast marshmallows and make s'mores, but maybe we could add that. That'd be an opportunity that would enhance the experience of our visitors or our guests. So then it goes back to that price. If I don't charge for roasting marshmallows, but I provide it as an amenity, then that adds value to what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So our marketing plan might look at over a 3-year period. Okay, that's that future focus kind of idea that we're looking at. We want those objectives and the action plans. So we want to make sure that we're actually working towards those goals. Okay, so essentially it's our roadmap. How do we get from point A to point B? Okay. Price can definitely be part of the marketing mix. Okay. So we may want to look and see this ad right here, within your budget, beyond your expectations. What does that say to you? How does that translate?
Affordable, exciting.
Okay. Affordable and exciting. What else, Elizabeth? What does that say to you?
That you're getting a good price for something big, something
Okay,
different.
good. Yeah, so we're gonna work within your budget. We're gonna give you a good price, but we're gonna exceed your expectations. We're gonna give you something really big, but we're gonna stay within your price at the same time. And so, as a meeting planner, somebody who's gonna be calling the hotels, if you saw this and you're like, wow. I mean, oftentimes as a meeting planner, your bonuses, your promotion is based on how well you can keep within budget.
Mhm.
And so if you saw this ad, you might, I'm going to call this Marriott just to see what their price is, and is it really within my budget, and can they really work within my budget? Okay. So our marketing plan has 4 steps. We're going to conduct our market research first. What is the market research? What is market research? What is the market?
You're going out into the field.
Yeah, like you're looking for the right companies or the right people.
Okay, so we might be looking out at the people, what companies to go after. We're going out in the field. We're going to analyze the area around us. Okay? Select those target markets, and then we're going to position our property. So how do we fit within everybody else around us that we're going to go after the same types of clients? Our objectives and our action plans, and then we're going to review and monitor. And then we start all over again. So you notice it doesn't just end with step 4, it goes back to step 1. So after that 3-year period, or after so many years, a certain period of time, it's time for us to jump back in and start all over again. Okay, so step 1, our market research. First, we're going to look at ourselves. This is kind of a challenging step sometimes. Why do you think it's challenging to look at yourself?
Because
We criticize ourselves even more.
So we might criticize ourselves even more.
but I want to say you probably, you as a staff might not see, your hotel as, outsiders might do.
Yeah, absolutely. You may not see your hotel. my hotel's the best. Why wouldn't you come to my hotel? Right? You had those rose-colored glasses on. Everything looks perfect in my glasses.
It's funny watching those hotel shows and they're like, oh, my hotel is spotless, and then they go and they look at the window seal and you can see like a dead fly.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And you're like, okay, you probably don't have the cleanest hotel. But
Exactly. Somebody in the board meeting last night, or yesterday, were talking about Hotel Impossible. I've not seen that show. I guess it's like a
you need to.
Restaurant Impossible, where they go in and like they kind of revamp a hotel.
Yeah.
I need to look into that. What channel is it on?
It used to be on Travel Channel.
Oh, so they said that yesterday. It jumps around to
Yeah.
different
We don't
networks.
We don't see the movies, the shows about Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, the Kitchen Nightmares.
Nightmares.
I love Kitchen Nightmares.
Those
Did I ever tell you about that one time I was in Galveston?
No?
I was in Galveston a couple months ago. I went down for the weekend. I went to this little seafood place, and it was like a fast food fried seafood type place. It was not cheap, but I swear, like I thought I was on an episode of Kitchen Nightmares. I was sitting there at the little. They had like a little high top like long table, so I was sitting there, and like one manager walked out of the rest of it. He walked out of the kitchen. Just a complete dazed look on his face, like he had no idea what was going on. The second manager walks out, and he's like scratching his head.
Wow.
And then like food is coming back because it's cold, and they're trying to figure out which tables the remakes need to go to. And I was like looking around. I told my friend, I was like, where's the camera? Like I swear, any minute Gordon Ramsay's gonna come out. Like this is legit an episode of Kitchen Nightmares.
I went
So
to-
yeah, so sometimes it's hard to.
I went to churches yesterday, and I had already gotten my drink, but what happened right after that, I was trying to get the lid for my drink and my daughter's drink. A person came in between my friend and me and just got
Mhm.
ice on their. Well, the other persons that were there waiting for their food asked for the manager, and I'm all like, in case anybody asks for a manager, I'm gonna be putting here because you
Right.
want me here. And they asked in reference to what, and the customer said, that gentleman just walked out, grabbed that cup from the trash can. And when it was a homeless person,
Yeah.
grabbed that cup from the trash can and just went up to the machine, soda machine, put ice, and didn't even, like, the cup wasn't rinsed, no nothing. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't think I want to eat here anymore. Like, hello.
Yeah, it might be an isolated incident, but then maybe how that manager handled that,
And
sanitizing
after that,
the soda
I went and sat in
machine.
my corner, and I was already with my food, so I was just like, I don't even want to touch my cup now.
Well, that person didn't touch your cup. All right, so property management, sometimes, or property analysis, sometimes it's hard for us to see those things.
Yes.
And so at the short course that I went to for Texas Hotel Lodging Association, the person who talked about the marketing class, she said, walk into your hotel as if you were a guest. So next time you go to work, walk in and have the eyes of what a guest would be looking for. Because there's sometimes like, I mean, you could walk by something and you won't even see it because you're so used to walking into your hotel. Have you ever done like when you drive home or you're driving somewhere and you drive and you're like, wait, how did I get home? Not because you're intoxicated, because you should never do that. But like, but you know, like you just zone out at your drive home. It's like, wait, when did I pass Buc-ee's? When did I pass the quarry? How did that happen? I didn't even see it, but obviously I'm home. And so sometimes you just, you get into that mode of, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to do my thing. And you walk right past something that's a blaring issue and you don't even see it. So that property analysis is like, sometimes it's really challenging for us to do. Now, sometimes it's easy for us to do a competition analysis. Oh, I'm way better than that hotel, right? So sometimes we have to take a step back and really evaluate. That's the whole point of like this process of step one, is you have to be really honest. You can't just sugarcoat things. And so you really have to be honest about what the status of your property is, how you compare to other properties. You might look at what they're doing. Oh my gosh, that ranch over there, they just put in brand new fire pits and people are roasting marshmallows. So maybe I can do that as well, okay? And so you can also look at what they're doing well to help you improve and see where you're lacking. That might identify why people are going to one hotel instead of your hotel because of the benefits they offer, okay? And then our marketplace, okay? We want to look and see how everything is happening in the environment. If there's a recession, that's out of our control. We can't control the economy. And so if there's a recession going on, that might be a reason why our sales are a little bit lower than we thought they were going to be. Okay. Maybe just people have stopped spending money on meetings and events. One of the biggest things that's happening now is that people are doing more telecommuting. So rather than get their entire executive team all to San Antonio, they'll just do a teleconference, and they'll just do a Zoom meeting, and everything's done by cameras and by phones instead of actually everybody coming to one location. Okay, and so identifying what the trends are in the market is also going to help you as you're building your marketing plan. So your property analysis, we kind of went over this a little bit already. Look at our past operating trends. So what was our occupancy? What was our ADR? All those things as we're looking towards that marketing plan and establishing that. Okay. So looking here, this is our property analysis of the Rolling Green Resort. So we have a variety of areas: exterior, meeting rooms, parking rooms, reputation, and location. And we have strengths, weaknesses, and recommendations. Okay. So first we're looking at our strengths. What do we do well? What do we not do so well? And then we can make recommendations on how to move these weaknesses over to a strength. See how that works? Okay.
Is this a self-evaluation?
Yep, this is our self-evaluation. Our sample is our property analysis. So we are analyzing ourselves.
So when you do a competitive analysis and you check out what your competitors are doing, and you do something very similar, most cases you want to do like the stay the night, get the full experience of the guest, correct?
You might do that, yeah. You might do a little inside shopping, figure out what's going on there. Absolutely, you definitely can do that. So we want to look at our business status and our different summaries of how, like, the trends that we've got going on. So what is our occupancy percentage during certain times of the year? What are the room rates that we're doing? How much are people actually How much are people actually spending on food and beverage? Or do they want to go out? They don't want to be in a hotel and eat, no offense to hotel banquets, but they don't want to eat chicken and rice and potatoes and vegetable and mixed like roasted vegetables. They want to go out, they're in San Antonio, they want to go eat barbecue, they want to go eat Tex-Mex, right? And so if our banquet menu is steak and chicken, maybe part of our marketing plan is to redo our banquet menu that we can include more barbecue. Maybe have a Tex-Mex option on our catering menu so people don't have to go somewhere else to get it. They can stay in the hotel and get the food and spend that food and beverage money with us. Okay? Are people going to our restaurant? Or are they going out to eat? Or are people, if they're not spending money on our food and beverage, are they going to, for the banquets, are they going to our restaurant? Are they going to our bar? Are we still capturing that revenue in some way? So we can look and see what our occupancy, the food and beverage revenue. It's interesting because you want to make sure you're looking back at least 2 years, 2 to 3 years, so you can see those trends. Let's see if we can identify any trends in this information here. So let's look at our first one, monthly occupancy and average rate, okay? So what do you see from year over year on our average rate for January? What's happening?
It's been increasing.
It's been increasing, so that's a good thing, okay? Has our occupancy always increased?
Nope.
No. For some reason, 2009 was a pretty bad year, but 2010 was pretty good. So we kind of made up for it. So we can probably look back and see why was January of 2009 not so great, but it was great in 2010. Maybe it's something that it's a conference that comes every other year. So they're not going to be here in 2009. They're going to be here in 2008 and 2010. And so looking back at that, I can say, well, yeah, 2009, my odd years, I need to work really hard to get some kind of piece of business, but in the even years, I don't necessarily need to do that because I have this group that's going to come back every other year. Does that make sense? Okay, so we can identify these trends by looking at this data. Our banqueted food and beverage revenue, for whatever reason, it's been decreasing.
And then it increased.
So not decreasing. It decreased in 2009, but then it
Increased.
almost doubled. It more than doubled from 2008 to 2010 for our beverage. Okay, and so it more than doubled in 2010 for our food. So we can look at this data. Now, if my food is this amazing, 14,000, okay, or I guess 1.41 million. If I had that level of food, do you think I'm going to have it again in 2011? Maybe not. Maybe let's see how low 2008, 2009 were. What I'm projecting for 2011, I may go off of these numbers because this seems, being almost doubled in January, that might mean that something extra happened that particular year, okay? For whatever reason, February 2009 was horrible, but 2008, 2010, it was pretty good, okay? So it can be by the month and the year that we're gonna set our different budgets or different forecasting, okay? So here we can look at the number of group nights by the market segment. What is an advantage of doing something like this as we're thinking about planning our marketing plan ahead?
Again, strategically increase rate maybe.
Okay, so you might strategically increase the rate, good. So January, February seems pretty busy. For a computer group, January not so much. So we may decide in our marketing plan that we want to go after more computer groups. We seem to have insurance room nights kind of already taken care of. We don't want to dismiss them altogether because eventually they could potentially then drop off. So we want to make sure that we're staying on top of it. But it could identify which rooms we could go after to increase the number of room nights that we do sell. So it could identify, a potential segment of the market that we aren't really attracting very much right now. So when we're looking at a competition, okay, kind of going back to Keegan's question about, do you go and stay at a hotel to kind of get the insider scoop? So first of all, you want to know who your competitors are. And you've seen that probably before in a couple different classes, our comp set. You want to identify who your comp set is. That's going to go after the same type of clientele. Now in this case, our comp set might be different, okay? Our comp set for sales might be different than our comp set for the hotel. Okay, so the whole hotel, we might have a specific comp set based on the level of service, based on the amenities that we offer, basically like the type of guest we're going after. But if I'm from the sales perspective, my comp set might include different hotels because of the meeting space size that they have.
You like corporate sales.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so from the sales office side of it, not the individual traveler side, but from the sales side of it, my comp set might be a little bit different based on the amenities that they offer, okay, or the size of their banquet space. And so you want to know who your competitors are that go after the same client. Just like you did your strengths and weaknesses, you want to do their strengths and weaknesses. And then how do they compare with your particular property? Okay. We should do this occasionally, just because we want to make sure that we're staying on top of things. A hotel might renovate, and now if a hotel renovates and they have updated their meeting space, then they might be better than your meeting space now. Whereas last year, yours was better than theirs. Okay.
They also sometimes whenever that happens, they also might go to they get like better, they might go after, different clientele.
Yeah, they might go after a different clientele if they do some kind of a renovation, absolutely, okay? So let's look at this competitive rate analysis. So we've got 3 different hotels, of course, ours is the Rolling Green, our Arrowhead, and then our Hilton Inn. So our rack rates, for a single, and let's look at just the singles for right now. So which hotel has the highest rack rate?
Hilton.
The Hilton right here, 102 to 116 is our average, our range for our rack rate. So they're the highest. Who has the highest corporate rate?
Arrowhead.
Right here, Arrowhead has the highest corporate rate. Who has the highest tour rate?
It would be Hilton.
Hilton again. Okay. Our convention rate, 78 to 90.
Hilton.
So 85 to 100. Okay. And then our club floor, so if we have an executive floor or club floor, Hilton definitely has that. And then our government rate, Hilton and Arrowhead are the same. Okay. And so we can look at this and compare. Does that mean that we necessarily have to increase our rate? We don't have to, but we might figure out why is Arrowhead able to get a $98 rate and we're only able to get an $80 rate? What about Arrowhead allows them to command or to get a higher rate than what we have?
They have conference.
They might have a conference center where we don't have a conference center.
They might
Absolutely.
provide a better breakfast.
Good, they might provide a better complimentary breakfast than yours, or they might throw breakfast in for free, and you don't do that. Well, breakfast isn't free because they're paying $18 more on the room rate, but they're getting free breakfast, okay?
They also like full service, and there's select service.
Good, they may be full service and you're select service, so good, you're thinking about all these different reasons about why they could get a higher rate than us, okay? And by us, I mean Rolling Green, because we are the, that's, my clicker not working. Oh. There we go. All right, so now what we do is we rate ourselves against our competitors. So same 3 hotels, Rolling Green, Hilton, and Arrowhead. 3 is superior, 3 is the best. 1 is not so great, okay? So we go through all these different categories. There's more on the next slide we'll go through. And we rate ourselves. So Hilton has a 3 and Arrowhead has a 3. We have a 1. We comment that our access to outside AV firms is limited.
What is the?
Audio visual. So projector screen, microphones. Some hotels, if theirs are superior, chances are they're gonna have an in-house AV company. Who's your in-house at Weston?
It's a third party.
Is it PSAV?
Yes, PSAV.
Okay.
Yeah.
PSAV is one of the biggest AV companies. They're all over the country, maybe possibly all over the world, but they're in-house. And so if I'm going to the Westin, I don't have a choice. I have to use PSAV. Okay. So the benefit of doing that is that you have somebody that is familiar with your property. Somebody knows how to do the setups and all those different things. So it definitely, that could be something that is superior, but for us, because we have access to outside, we are limited to outside access, AV firms is limited, we may not have that opportunity. It might be flipped, okay? So let's use this flipped example. We have in-house, so you have to use our company, but they allow outside vendors to come in, and so they can be a little bit more competitive on their pricing. If you come to my hotel, you have to use PSAV. Is there any wiggle room in the price?
No.
No, they can charge whatever they want because you have to use them. Versus possibly an outsourced outsourced AV, and they can be a little bit more competitive in their pricing. Okay, so just because, I'm just going to give you a couple of different examples of what, like, it could be both ways. Okay, it could be good or bad. Maybe for security, we have our own security that's on site, but maybe they don't. Maybe they don't have full-time security, okay? So you kind of see how we rank ourselves against our competition. Comp room policy. We talked about comp rooms before, which means, what does that 1 for 40 mean?
Is it ratio for one comp room for 40 roommates?
Good, so 40 room nights, not necessarily 40 rooms, but 40 room nights. And so ours is more superior than theirs. We offer 1 for every 40 rooms, they offer 1 for every 50 rooms. And so because of that, that might be a benefit for us. It might attract a meeting planner to come to us and say, you know what, I get 2 extra rooms if I come to your hotel for comps than I would if I went to this other hotel. That might be a good selling point, okay? What else is one? Point out to one where we perform not so well, but our competitors do.
Space instead of location.
The overflow and the accessible.
Okay, so our overflow
What
arrangements.
does that mean?
Maybe we don't have space for if we run out of, like, maybe our banquet space is only so small, but we don't have the ability to set up a tent somewhere outside and have overflow space.
Oh, so that like the worst case scenario that you get like way too much people.
Yeah. So maybe because the Hilton Inn and the Arrowhead Conference Center, maybe they have a lot of outdoor space, and so we can overflow what is available from our banquet space. We can overflow it outside, and we can put tents up. Or if we don't have that ability, if we're very limited in our space, then we may not have that flexibility with overflow. Good. So you kind of see how this works. We're kind of comparing ourselves, and then each time we see where we are either superior or we're not so great, we kind of offer a comment as to why that is. And this is all part of developing that marketing plan, because now we're planning about what are other people doing so well that we're not doing so great. Looking at the marketplace, we're going to do analysis of what's happening. So things like, what are some things that are happening in the market, in the environment, that could affect our business in the, like, at any given time?
Construction.
Good, construction, weather for sure. Okay, so weather, we don't really have a whole lot of control of that. We don't have a whole lot of control over construction either. Weather is very unpredictable. Construction is semi-predictable, right? We have an idea when that project is going to be done.
Wait, did you say something that we can control or something?
It can be both. It can be both. Yeah. But things that are like with the things that are happening in our property, that's happening around us. Special events happen. We have to close the streets. Okay, so if we know that Fiesta's coming, if we know that the Rock and Roll Marathon and Half Marathon is the first weekend of every December, the first Sunday of every December, and we are on the route, and we have a group that calls and says, we want to do 200 rooms out of your 500 room hotel. We want to do 200 rooms over this weekend. As a sales manager, would you say yes or no? I might say yes. There'll probably be a lot of other factors we want to consider. But if you do say yes, understand that your street is going to be closed at some point during that group stay. So you should communicate that to the group. Absolutely, we'd love to host you. However, just keep in mind that during this time we have the Rock and Roll Half Marathon, and that could work to your benefit. I had a group once at it was at the Hyatt, the Grand Hyatt downtown, and I was contracted to sing the national anthem for their 800-person opening session, and so the meeting planner that was planning it, that contracted me, I showed her my medal, my half marathon medal, and she's like, "You've got to wear that medal, like when you sing." And I'm like, "Well, that's kind of weird. I'm wearing a tuxedo and I'm wearing a half marathon medal. That's weird." And she's like, "No, people actually came in before the event, started on that Monday so they could run that race and they would recognize the medal. And sure enough, somebody shouted out on Twitter, like, congrats to the national anthem singer for finishing the marathon. So it was interesting because that's when it made me realize that sometimes, with groups, we'll sell a certain room night, but if you want to come before or you want to stay a day after, we might offer a different rate as well. So maybe even a lower rate than our normal rack rate because you're a part of that group that you can come in a day earlier to. So understanding that maybe this is happening, rock and roll is happening for your group. Hey, if you have any runners in your group, then have them come in a day or two early and they can run this race that helps you with your room revenue and helps you build the occupancy of your hotel, and people are already in your hotel ready to go for the meeting. And so communicating that with that meeting planner is like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great selling point. I'll let my people know and they can make the reservation in advance. So understanding what's happening in your environment around you is really important, okay? So different problems, different things that are happening and how it could potentially affect our business. Yes, there's construction, but it's going to ease once that construction's over. It's going to allow for us to get more motor coaches in here so we can have bigger buses and people can come in and unload a lot easier, okay? Here we're looking at our total number of room nights for state and regional association meetings by year. Okay, and so by year, the solid line is 2008, 2009, the dashed one is 2010. So we can look by month, what is our predominantly lowest time period of the year?
February,
January, February, March, like right here, right? So that's kind of relatively low. That might give us, as we're creating our marketing plan, now we have a time of the year to aim for. To target. Oh, we're going to target February meetings that are happening in February and March. Or April, we know April in San Antonio is Fiesta. And if a group says, hey, I want to come to have my meeting in your hotel in April in 2 years, we know when Fiesta is happening and our rate's going to be very high. And so that rate is out of that group's price range. We can ask them, hey, would you consider a March date? Or might you consider a February date? Because April is Fiesta in San Antonio, and so our rates are traditionally higher, but I can offer you a better rate if you decide to come in February. And if you say, they're like, oh my gosh, Fiesta in April? Yes, I want to be there. Okay, we'll pay the higher rate because we recognize that it's a festival time period, but we want people to be there and we can build events around those different things that are already happening. It might make the meeting planner's job a little bit easier, okay? Or they may just say, no, our annual meeting is always in April. We cannot change it to February, okay? And so all these different questions that you're going to ask, all these different information you're going to get from your guest, but by understanding this part right here, we'll understand, well, if a group calls for in September, October, that's my busiest time of the year. I want to have a higher group rate. But if they call and they're interested in coming in February and March, I might give them a lower group rate just to get that food and beverage business. Okay? Selecting our target market and positioning our property. So we want to figure out what target market are we going after? Are we going to go after corporate? Are we going to go after most of it's corporate. We're going to go after leisure, weddings, family reunions, things like that, okay? So priorities that we're going to set, and then kind of the groups that we can go after for that. Our midweek business. We're sold out on the weekends because of leisure travelers. But during the week, Monday through Thursday, our occupancy is really low. So as a marketing plan, we might want to figure out how we're going to fill those rooms. And so these are the types of groups we're going to go after. The corporate individual, they're traveling for business, our meetings, and then training meetings. So people that are coming, maybe it's even local, so like local businesses. Hey, by the way, we have meeting space. Come over, bring your sales team over. We can do a training for them. We might take them, I don't know, basket of cookies, things that we would offer as a break snack. a breakout room snack and say, hey, here's this food that we offer, come over to our hotel, have a training session, or you might invite different people, HR professionals from different businesses around San Antonio, come to your hotel for a day, and just should see the meeting space and show that off and have lunch, things like that. Okay. Shoulder. What are shoulder dates?
Dates that are right after one another.
Not right after one another. Close though.
Is it shoulder?
Yep, shoulder dates. Okay, so we've got our head right here, right? And our shoulders are right here. Yes. So the head is really busy. The shoulder dates are the dates in between when we're really busy, the gaps, right? And so how can we fill that? Oh, let's go back to our rock and roll reference. We might lower a rate before and after the meeting. If it's a really intensive training, then people may not get a chance to go out and enjoy the sights of San Antonio. But, you know, they can stay. The company might pay for the busy time. And then on the shoulder dates, we might offer a lower competitive rate. And then the attendees can either come in before, enjoy the city, or they can stay after and enjoy the city. Okay? So that can be part of our marketing plan and part of that. Banquet business. How do we increase that? So it doesn't always have to be just rooms. We can also just do a banquet. So we might go to a local high school and say, hey, where are y'all doing prom this year? Now, maybe you don't want to host a prom. I don't know.
Those high schools, whenever they do banquets for prom, they really get money.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. Okay. Establishing our objectives and our action plan. So what are our goals? And then what are we actually going to do? Okay. So what are we actually going to work on? So that's that action plan. Okay. That's the meat of the marketing plan. That's my goals. That's what I'm going to go and go out and do. Sections for your action plan. Let's talk about that really briefly. We have this market segment that we're going to go after. Is it corporate? Is it leisure? Is it individual people? Is it local businesses? Is it associations? So that's part of that action plan. And then who is our target customer? Who are we going to be going after? So that way it makes our sales efforts more focused. Okay? What rates and special promotions can I offer? What's that? Yeah, absolutely. So it depends on which market segment you're going after. It depends on the target customer. So as the salesperson, you need to go in armed with that information as far as what rates can I offer and all that information. So as you're going out and having those sales promotions, oh, by the way, if you come over to our hotel, we'll give you a free snack break during your meeting. If you do an all-day meeting, we'll give you a free snack break in the afternoon. So they come in, they pay for rental of the meeting space, they pay for lunch, and I'm going to give you a free snack break. My snack break is like cookies and cans of sodas and bottles of water, maybe some coffee. It's not very expensive. Yeah, popcorn. That's even cheaper than cookies. Okay? I'm going to give you this free snack break for you to come and spend how many thousands of dollars with me for an all-day meeting? I'm going to give you like $50 worth of product away for free, right? And so now my snack break on my catering menu says it's $20 plus. So the customer, the guest, the client is going to see I have 50 people. That's a huge savings of times $20 per person plus tax plus gratuity. That's a huge value to them, but in reality, it cost us $2. So that's only going to cost us $100 in product. Yeah. But to the customer, they're saving $1,000. Okay, and so
They're saving 10 times more.
what are the special promotions that we can offer in order to do that? Okay, oftentimes they'll say, you know what, if you book this meeting between this time and this time, we'll give you 2 extra comp rooms. kind of going back to what we talked about in revenue management, for those of you who've taken it before, but what we talked about today specifically, those variable costs. If I give you 2 comp rooms, it's only those variable costs that it costs me to replenish those amenities. We may even say, you know what, if you book between this time and this time, we'll give you a complimentary VIP suite one night that you can use to entertain clients. So the higher, like the more VIP clients, oftentimes hotels will have a VIP suite, and they'll come in, they'll have a little bar in there, they'll have snacks in there that the client can then entertain their clients and their top salespeople. So you can get kind of creative with it, and so understand what those promotions are. What is our objective? If our objective is to get more day meetings in our hotel, then that's the different rates and the special promotions that we can offer. We might even say, if you come in and you book our meeting space, then we won't charge you for meeting space. Okay, normally it's $500 to rent our room. We're going to go ahead and waive that, and you can just come in, you'll pay for food and beverage, you pay for your snack in the afternoon. Does it really cost us $500 if we didn't charge them $500? No. What does it cost us? The labor to set the room up and to clean the room up afterwards. That's what it cost us. But if it brings me in a couple $1,000s of food and beverage revenue, that could help me meet my sales goal, right? And so you gotta get a little kind of creative with it. Reviewing and monitoring. So is it being effective? Did we, in the last year, increase our day meetings, our day-long meetings, or did we not? And if we didn't, maybe we need to go back and reevaluate what our sales tactics are, okay? We could also go back and evaluate the economy was in the toilet last year. People just were not spending money. So maybe it isn't always necessarily things within our control. Maybe it's just people weren't spending money, okay? And then once we evaluate it, what went well, this is the whole process all over again. Okay, we start back from step 1 and we start our next 3-year plan to keep up with what we're looking forward to in the future. Questions, comments, and concerns? Okay. Marketing plans don't just sit in a binder on a shelf, or in this case nowadays on a USB drive on the shelf or in the drawer, okay? They don't just sit. You actually have to implement them in order for them to be effective, or to realize if they're effective or not, okay? They need to work together with the salespeople. They need to work together with the revenue management team to know what rates we can sell at, what is our goal, what is our budget, all those things. All the departments have to kind of come together to help work on that marketing plan.